All right, good morning, everyone. It's 9:03 a.m. on August the 25th, 2026. We are here for a regular meeting of Gillespie County Commissioners Court. Before we call the meeting to order, we're going to start with an invocation from Pastor Tommy Hicks.
Judge, missionaries, let us pray. Heavenly Father, we draw near to you in the name of Jesus. We welcome your Holy Spirit, Spirit of living God. Come and move in this place. Move in our hearts. Lord, we pray for your wisdom. Pray for wisdom to lead and make decisions today based upon your word and your heart, principles of your kingdom. We remember the promise of your word in Micah 6:8. What does the Lord require of us? But to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with our God. Lord, may we walk humbly with you today as you lead and guide us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, it's 9:05 a.m. We're going to call the meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of Gillespie County Commissioners Court. All members of the Commissioners Court are present this morning. Let's move to item number 3, which is approved job descriptions and or posting for positions in the Pioneer Memorial Library.
Good morning.
Morning.
We have one job position posting for y'all to approve for a part-time library page, pay $16.71 an hour.
The description is a new description, or is it one we've had before?
It's one we've done for, we've said in the series.
So you're just looking for approval to post?
Yes, sir.
I move to approve the job description and the posting for the position of Pioneer Memorial Library.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Let's move to item number 4, consider approval of promotions, transfers, payroll changes, and or hiring for positions in 4A is the Veteran Service Office.
I have, under the Veteran Services, we recommend approving the hiring of Michael Cruz as the Assistant Veteran Services Officer. His planned start date will be September 1st, 2026, and his salary will be $22.44 an hour. He comes to us with extensive experience in serving veterans. He's currently with the Texas Veterans Commission in San Antonio. This is in the budget. It was one of the items that the commission took up when we were going over salaries. So it is in the budget.
What's the spelling of his last name? Is it
Cruz.
C-R-U?
Yes, sir. CRUZ, I'm sorry.
2244.
Yes, sir. 2240.
I move to approve the hiring of Michael Cruz effective December 1st at the rate of 2244 for the Veteran Service Office.
Second.
September 1st.
September 1st.
Oh, September 1st, I'm sorry.
Second.
All right, we have an amended motion and amended second for approval effective September 1. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. 4B, Pioneer Memorial Library.
Yes, sir. We have a new hire, recommend hiring Dana Smith to fill the library clerk vacancy. If approved, her start date will be August 31st, and her pay will be $18 an hour.
I've had a lot of applicants for that, and I think there's some tough choices there, or good choices. So,
Yes, sir. We're still receiving applications.
yes, absolutely. So, I move to approve Dana Smith for the Pioneer Memorial Library position starting August 31st at $18.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. 4C, Road and Bridge Precinct 2.
This last item under number 4 is a request. Our current precinct 2 road and bridge foreman, Quinn Brasher, has requested to step down from that role. He'll take the role of the maintenance equipment operator, whose pay will be adjusted accordingly from $34.76 to $24.19 to reflect the duty changes. In addition, simultaneously, Trenton Warmoth will be designated as the precinct 2 foreman, and his salary will go from $24.19 to $34.76 an hour, all within budget. I would like to point out that I'm very glad that Mr. Pritchard decided to stay with the county and not leave. Pressures of being a foreman sometimes can get a little bit daunting, so he decided to at least step down. So we're very, very pleased with his performance and dedication to the county and to the precinct.
I move to approve as presented.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Effective.
When is it going to be
It'll
effective?
be effective immediately.
Immediately.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
Item number 5, consider approval of county clerk minutes for Commissioners Court meetings.
Requesting approval for minutes on August 11th and August 14th of 2026.
I reviewed those and didn't find any issues with them. I move to approve the county clerk's minutes for Commissioners Court for August 11th and August 14th, 2026.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, consider approval of a quote for pavement work at the county airport and authorization to pay invoice upon completion of that work.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
We have an opportunity to not take advantage of some work being done at the airport, but to piggyback on some work being done at the airport. Alan Keller is our contractor of record for our capital improvement project. With that said, we need some serious work on our non-airside pavement, particularly the intersection between Airport Road and Crosswind Lane. So right when you come into the airport, you come to the intersection, it looks like, looks bad. I was gonna say another word, but so we need some work done on that road. In addition to that road, the entry road into the apron to the terminal ramp is also, there's major failure going on with that pavement also. So with that said, since it's similar work, Alan Keller has given us a quote to do that repairs while they're doing the work on the apron. The quote is for $21,915. We're saving a lot of money on mobility costs with them being out there. I did get a second quote in accordance with our purchasing policies. That quote was from Alpha Paving, and it was well above the Alan Keller quote. Their quote was $35,268. So I'm requesting y'all support to get Alan Keller to do that work. This money is in our budget. It was budgeted for the capital improvement project. With that said, this money disappears September 30th. Alan Keller says that they're going to do their best to get this job done in that time period. If they can't, then we'll just scrap the project since the money disappeared. I did not budget for that.
Any questions from the commissioners?
Come back to court. Airport Advisory Board did recommend approval.
I move we approve the quote from Alan Keller for $21,915 for pavement work at the county airport. That'll include the intersection of Airport Road and Crosswind Lane and the entry road to the terminal apron.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, consider approval of revisions to the county airport layout plan related to future development of the south field of the county airport.
Commissioners and Judge, I presented y'all a detailed presentation on our south development plan. With that said, in that presentation, I mentioned the first step would be to correct the ALP, and that's the airport layout plan. With that said, the current, I gave you a slide. The current ALP is on slide 2. You can see it's pretty similar to what the future plan is. But with that said, it's the moving of the ravine is the major change, in which gives us an opportunity to create more hangar spaces. With that said, all I'm asking for is a change to our airport layout plan. It's not committing any money, no funds, whatever. It's just putting a plan on record. This ALP will have to go through TxDOT and then FAA for approval. And so I'm requesting y'all support to just put it as a plan.
And it was approved by the airport board.
Exactly.
I move we approve the revisions to Gillespie County Airport ALP related to future development of south field of the county airport.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Tony, what happens if TxDOT or FAA, do they have the ability to not approve this proposed change?
They do, but it's more of a, since it is a very minor change to the, technically, we could just do a pen and ink change and just keep it locally, but it might as well make it visible to everybody and send it forward. But with that said, they do have a chance to deny it, but it doesn't make sense for them to just limit it change. It's better for the airport, I'm sure they can understand that.
Okay, and we have Garver do the original, I mean, the
Right.
current, the
And
current.
they've agreed to add, because we have the CAD files, we're gonna send it to Garver, and they're gonna just add it onto it and correct the chart and send it to
Okay.
the FAA and fix them.
All right, any other questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, consider approval of a 6-month extension of construction timelines for the following hangar projects at the county airport. 8A is for the Lad Garner hangar project, and 8B is for Lone Star Aviate hangar project.
We, in accordance with their lease, they have 1 year to create the construction, and just to let the court know that we're gonna probably have to amend that because the last 6 hangars have not met that 1 year construction timeline, and we had to come to court and request an extension every single time. So I'm not that smart, but I after 6 times, I think I've kind of figured it out now that we need to extend it. So with that said, Lad Gardner, he's about 80% complete with this project right now. The Mulholland hangar is about 90%. I do believe they can get it done within a couple weeks, but I don't want to have to come to court requesting if something happens, weather or something happens. So I'm just requesting a 6-month extension for both hangars.
So they have 1 year to complete their project, not to start it,
Completed.
complete it.
We're probably thinking of making an edit to the lease to do a 2-year blanket for everybody.
Mhm.
So we're extending the deadline for them to complete construction on the hangars.
Yes, sir.
Typically, this is a 6-month extension, right?
Right.
I move we approve as presented.
Second?
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, consider approval of a quote from DR Welding for the modification of the airport tractor shed. Approve a line item budget transfer and approve authorization or give authorization to pay the invoice upon completion of the work.
Thank you, Judge. We are needing more storage space out at the airport and to protect our current equipment. So with that said, I'm requesting approval to add basically a lean-to onto the tractor shed to allow for the storage of some of our equipment out at the airport. In addition to the way the current shed is set up, it provides no protection from the weather except for direct rain straight down or sun straight down. Anytime it rains right now, the tractor and the shredder, it gets soaked to the environment. So what I'm requesting is, like I said, to put a lean-to onto it with sidewalls on there just to give a general protection from rain at an angle. I got 2 quotes, one from Alan Keller, or excuse me, not Alan Keller, DR Welding for $22,777, and from GT Construction, which was for 25 and change, I do believe, $25,960. Going with DR Welding, the lowest quote. He did also guarantee that he could get it done by September 30th when the money runs out. The Airport Advisory Board did recommend approval for this project.
So this is basically a 12-foot lean-to and then 2
Sidewalls
sidewalls on it.
and a concrete pad,
So currently there's no pad underneath that?
right, in that
Oh, well,
area.
that would be added to it, yeah.
Yes, yes, sir.
And you have the budget money?
Yes, sir. Well, we have the money in the airport budget, we have to transfer it to from 5909 to the building line item.
I move we approve the quote from DR Welding for modification of the airport tractor shed. In the amount of $22,777 with DR Welding.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Did you want to include the payment of?
We also need to do a line item transfer.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a second motion on that.
Yeah, let's just do that. We'll do that separately.
Also, I'd like to approve a line item budget.
Hold
Hold
on,
on.
Commissioner.
Oh, we gotta vote.
We'll vote on them.
Yeah.
We'll vote on them. Because if we don't approve the project, then there's no reason to move the money.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
But
Any
you need to
other?
amend your motion to the payment of. Didn't he?
You want to withdraw your motion? We'll start over.
Yeah. I would like to withdraw my motion.
Withdraw second.
I move we approve a quote from DR Welding for the modification of airport tractor shed in the amount of $22,777 and authorization of payment of the invoice upon completion of the work.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
I would like to make another motion, approval of a line item budget transfer from 72.611-5909 to 72.611-4501 in the amount of $22,777.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries. Item number 10, consider approval of a request from EPCON International for a 6-month extension of their current development agreement at the county airport.
Yes, sir. Todd Woolman, the president of EPCON International, came and presented a update to the Airport Advisory Board last week. In doing so, it gave hope that this project is a valid project and he's going to move forward on it. In addition, he's requesting a 6-month extension. He's been waiting on funding on a specific project that his company is working on. And after that, the Airport Advisory Board discussed this with Todd, and they all came to the conclusion that we want him at in the business park. We want that development in Gillespie County, and we requested that y'all support a 6-month extension to this development agreement.
This is the software company, right?
Yes, sir. And the Airport Advisory Board doesn't support it, and I don't know, EDC also supports it, I'm sure Tim could back that up.
I move we approve the request from EPCON International for a 6 months extension of their current development agreement with the county airport.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Any other discussion? Just for clarity, when does this extension start?
October 1st, and it's also pending his deposit.
All right, any other questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Item number 11, consider approval of the purchase of and payment for a John Deere welderator for Precinct 1.
That's seeking approval and payment of a welderator. It's a generator, a welder, and an air compressor all built in one, so it's one contained unit. And we have one on one of the trucks, and we are wanting to put one on the other. We have money available for it.
Jacob went and got 2 quotes, one from United Ag and Turf for the amount of $5,913. The other one is from RDO Equipment in the amount of $5,655. I would move to approve the purchase and payment of a welder from RDO in the amount of $5,655.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Item number 12, is someone here from the county attorney's office?
I don't see anybody.
We'll wait on that. We'll come back to that later. He might be upstairs in court. Item number 13, consider approval of payment of invoice from Chad Lowell for professional accounting services rendered in the county treasurer's office. Ms. Schneider, you want to make a public comment on this item?
Good morning. I just mostly have questions. So I noticed that the scope is for 25 and 26, yet we haven't finished fiscal year 24. When are we going to have fiscal year 24 reconciled?
So the reason that the scope is outside of that is because these are some other reports that they could do without having to have the reconciliation done from prior years. And so they're trying to do work that can be done currently that's not dependent on the reconciliation. I can tell you we have a meeting scheduled this week to talk about finalizing 24. There's just some cleanup that needs to be done before it's ready for audit. So,
And what's the status of the RFQ for the outside audit?
I think we'll determine that at our meeting this week. As soon as we're ready to get that out, we'll get it out.
And what did you budget for Mr. Lowell for fiscal years for going forward?
I think currently it's 150,000 in that line item. I don't know if that's all for him. There might be some other items in there, but that entirety of that line item right now is 150.
And currently, I think this invoice puts you at what, 187,000?
Yeah. Let me see here. That's correct. It'll be 187 total already.
Thank you.
Who's going to present this item? Anyone? All right, let's see. Invoice is in the packet.
Chris is
Mr.
back
Wayner,
there.
you want to present this item?
Forgive me, I was making notes when you asked that question again, so
We just need you to present the item for consideration.
thank you. Chris Wayner, Deputy Treasurer, reporting on behalf of Vicky Schmidt, and I would like to request the consideration of approval for payment of the invoice from Chad Lowell for professional accounting services rendered in the County Treasurer's office.
Is the amount $18,750?
That is correct, Commissioner. Thank you.
I move we approve the payment of invoice from Chad Lowell for professional accounting services rendered to the county treasurer's office in the amount of $18,750.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 14, consider approval of the county, consider approval for the county library to participate in the Community Literacy Support Grant Program through the Texas State Library Archives Commission.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Dolly Parton began a program called the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, where it's a mail order program that gives out books to children up to age 5. And there is a local group here in town that is supporting it here locally. In Gillespie County, there are over 1,200 children that are eligible to be part of this program, but currently there's less than 300 of them enrolled. which is about 23%. They're hoping to get up to about 65% here in the county. The Texas 89th legislative session awarded some state funds, and the Texas State Library and Archives Commission has been given an opportunity to support the local libraries to enroll the children in this book program. And it is at no cost to the county. All we would be doing is lending our name and putting some flyers in the library to help promote it. And I would like you guys to consider being part of it.
Sounds like a good program.
Yes, sir.
I move to approve the county library to participate in the community literacy support grant program through the Texas State Library Archives Commission.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? Linda, do we need to, is there an agreement or some sort of terms or anything that we need to sign on to, or is it just that we're going to
I will
participate?
have to do one little piece of paper. You may have to sign it also. I'm not sure yet.
Okay,
I need to get permission first.
okay. So you're saying if that's the case, then you will discuss that at a later date, I guess? Okay. All right, any other questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Ms. Neal, do you want to present your item on the vehicle? Okay, we're going to go back to item number 12, which is consider approval of purchase of an off-lease vehicle for the county attorney's office. This is a vehicle that the county was leasing, is now, I guess, at the end of that term, and I believe there's a request to maybe purchase that off of the lease.
Yes, that's correct. We're asking that the vehicle be purchased for the county attorney's office, and I believe the total cost is going to be $401. But we also had to replace a battery, and that's an additional $129.51. I'm sorry, let me go back. That's $146.69. In our automotive budget line item now, we only have $129.51 left. So we are proposing to move $450 out of subscriptions, which is 10471.4601 to, and I will need verification from the auditor's office over which is the preferred account. We can move it to automotive, or we have an automotive purchasing account. The automotive purchasing is 10471.6004. Or if it would just go to straight automotive, that's 10471.403. And then we are also asking to move $200 to cover that battery issue from subscriptions, which again had a balance of $4,000 that we ended up not needing to get some of the subscriptions we anticipated this year. One was for an investigator software, but we're not needing that at this time. Some Adobe updates and things like that we ended up not needing. And so that would be $200 from subscriptions, which is again 10471.4601 to automotive, which is 10471.5403. And from our research, the title expenses according to enterprise is part of the total price. That's approximately $400 or so dollars that would cost purchasing.
So what was the purchase price of the vehicle? For what?
$401. $1.
And it's a 20 model
I don't have
Tahoe.
the actual information on the vehicle, but I believe it is a Tahoe, and I believe
It's a Tahoe. I just didn't remember it.
I don't remember the year. But it is used, the county's been using it, and this would be for one of my investigators. He does travel a lot for work within the county and to meet with people, goes to law enforcement center. When their floods happened, he went to the EOC and helped with that. We want to ensure that he is capable of doing all those duties on behalf of the county.
How much was the battery? You said 146.59.
The battery, yes, 146.69.
I move we approve the purchase of an off-lease vehicle for the county attorney's office in the amount of $4,001,
400.
correction, $401, and approve the purchase of a battery in the amount of 146.59.
69.
69.
Second.
Is that your motion?
That's my motion there.
All right,
That's my second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you very much.
You want me to?
Do we need to approve your line item transfers, or is that something you're going to handle off outside the meeting with the auditor's office?
So that it needs to be approved, could it be in the consent agenda or do you want to do the next?
It can be approved.
We'll come back to
next
do
meeting.
it the next one. Do it now and then just.
Yeah.
So yes, we would ask that the court consider the line item transfers, and again, it's going to, then I'll clarify briefly, part of, for the automotive purchases, you want that an automotive purchase, doesn't matter?
Yeah, the 6 mile permit.
Under strict order. Thank you. Okay, so what we're gonna be asking for is that $400 be transferred from the subscriptions account, which is going to be from 10471.4601 to 10471.6004 for automotive purchases. And then for the battery, we would ask for the transfer from 10471.4601, which is subscriptions, to the straight automotive account, which is 10471.45.
I move we approve as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Is the auditor's office clear on all the requests? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
ma'am.
Let's go to item number 15, receive and discuss report demonstrating completion of the required cybersecurity and AI training programs by county employees that are required to do so, and authorize the submission of that report to the Texas DIR.
I'm pleased to report that 100% of our elected officials, department heads, and employees successfully completed the training courses, both the cybersecurity and the artificial intelligence. I would like to take the opportunity to recognize Lynn for all her hard work accomplishing this, tracking people down, setting things up, and then successfully performing all her other duties simultaneously. If approved, and we'll submit that report before the deadline, which is August 31st. We'll probably submit it tomorrow to the Department of Information Resources. There's also a Texas Cybersecurity Command that will provide information to concerning our success with this. And seek your approval for us to submit that report.
I move we approve the report demonstrating completion of the required cybersecurity and AI training programs by all the county employees.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you, Ed. Item number 16, consider accepting a donation from the Gillespie County 100 Club for the purpose of purchasing firearms and equipment for the sheriff's office.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, everybody in the audience here.
Good morning.
What we're looking at doing is we'd like you to accept your approval of the donation from the Gillespie County 100 Club for the amount of $53,774.49. It will be for the purchase of 46 Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm pistols with the optic sights on it. This will serve very well in accuracy once we transfer and train into those. And it'll also decrease the cost for us as a county and as a sheriff's office, because we'll be using 9mm ammo versus 40 Smith & Wesson. What we are looking at doing, we would like to get the approval at this point, because it does take a little downtime for them to come in, the pistols come in. We will keep the pistols that we have, we will keep those as an inventory until we can figure out how we can trade those off in another sale for shotguns or for rifles down the road. And then, we will need to hang on to these pistols until the actual transitioning of training and qualifying with the newest weapons coming in, through ProForce. Again, this is a donation that the Gillespie County 100 Club came to us and asked us if we had a need, and we very kindly shared this with them, and they very kindly accepted taking on that cost for us.
Are they going to pay directly, or are they going to provide the funds to the county and then you're going to use them?
Directly, and they're going to pay directly to ProForce, and then
Okay.
once they do that, we'll do the transfer of the actual weapons to the Gillespie County Sheriff's Office. Once we get the purchase made, once we actually receive them, we'll have to put them into the Gillespie County Sheriff's Office name, so that way they become an asset of the Gillespie
Okay.
County Sheriff's Office in Gillespie County.
So, the reason I'm asking is so you don't need a budget amendment, I guess, to buy these out of your next year's budget, because they're just going to be procured directly, and basically the equipment's going to be delivered directly to the county.
I'm sorry, Judge, I could barely hear you.
Is the equipment going to, I'm just trying to make sure we don't need to amend your budget next year to accommodate this. And so if they're going to pay directly to the vendor is going to essentially deliver the equipment to you.
Yes, sir, we will not need to correct or amend the budget next
Okay.
year. The only thing is we won't be able to accept these items until next year, because that'll probably be when they come in.
Okay.
I move we approve the acceptance of a donation from the Gillespie County 100 Club for the purposes of purchasing firearms and equipment for the sheriff's office in the amount of $53,774.49.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to the 100 Club.
Yes.
Item number 17, consider approval of an order amending the fee schedule for the Gillespie County Health Division permitting and inspections. Commissioner Alfers, do you want to recuse yourself from this?
Yes, sir.
You want to recuse yourself?
Yes. If I may, Judge, if I may recuse myself.
You may.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Following orders of the Gillespie County Health Division. You have before you an amendment to our fee regulation order that has an increase of just our retail health permit fee schedule only. And that increase is divided into 3 different tiers. We have the tier 1, which is our smaller facilities between 1 and 5 employees. Tier 2 is between 6 and 19. Tier 3 is 20 employees or more. This breakdown comes to an increase of, for Tier 1, $1.23 a month. Tier 2 is $2.05 a month, and Tier 3 is $2.05 a month. So it's just a slight increase, just trying to keep up with some of our additional expenses. Also in this proposal is the removal of the mobile food fee, mobile food permit fee that has now been taken on by the state with House Bill 2844. Just as a side note, Senate Bill 1008 is the bill that is basically directing our department to set up our fee schedule and set fees accordingly. There's a cap on those, and we are well below that cap. This same proposal went before City Council on August the 18th and was approved as well. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
How is the mobile food truck state inspections going?
It's a mess, I'll be very honest. We did get some good news, I should say, in the last couple of weeks that we've heard of people that are actually getting appointments scheduled. For those units that are in our community that were previously inspected and permitted through us, they're kind of they were on an anniversary date. So as their permit expires, obviously then they'll have to go before the state and get that permit. For those that are current we are recognizing those permits. So it's kind of giving us a transition year, if you will.
So do they have to go somewhere with their trucks to get them
They
inspected?
do, and I'm not exactly sure where it depends on if they're being called out of Austin or San Antonio. I've heard that they are doing some of the inspections like at Bass Pro Shop and at the Rim. So I don't know if that, we're trying to get as much information as we can. Obviously trying to keep abreast of these things. We have noticed that there's been several food trucks that have come into our community that we don't know anything about, so we're trying to see how we can talk about that, so.
So even though they're state inspections, y'all have an enforcement on that? I mean, you can shut them down if they're not state inspected?
Only if it's an imminent health hazard, otherwise we have to report that all to the state, and then it'll be up to the state for enforcement on that. Any other questions?
The fees are to be effective October 1.
Yes, sir. We'll send invoices out on our retail health permits, probably the first week of November. So we will also send this out. We're required by Senate Bill 1008 to make sure that we send a blast email. We'll obviously update our website and make sure that our establishments are well aware.
Any other questions from the court?
I move we approve the order amending the fee schedule for Gillespie County Health Division permitting and inspections as presented.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you.
Good to be back.
Okay, we're going to move to item number 18, which is consultation with county attorney and outside counsel regarding the Gillespie County versus Marshall Springs storage, which is a pending lawsuit in the 216th District Court. This item is going to be an executive session discussion. Which we're planning to have at 10:30, but we do have several public comments on this item, so we will go ahead and accept the public comments now prior to the Commissioners Court going into executive session. As I mentioned, we're planning to do the executive session at 10:30, and so after the public comments, we will, if we have time, we'll continue through the agenda before we adjourn for the executive session. Okay, we have, looks like 5 individuals have signed to speak up, have signed up to speak on this item. Mr. Tarski first.
I am Mike Tarski, and I live on Country Creek Lane. Some of my neighbors are here and are going to speak as well. I want to say I appreciate what the county has done for us. I appreciate you taking the time to meet with us, to talk with us, to listen to us. I appreciate the lawsuit that's been filed and the injunctive relief that has been sought. And I know it's not a universally held opinion, but I think the timing of those was just fine. Of course, I don't know why you would listen to me. I only practiced law for over 40 years. My attorney rating is AD. I was a partner in one of the biggest law firms in the country, but what could I possibly know about that? I'm also aware that there have been some PIR requests, and I am included in those requests. I really don't care. I hope that any response that's made is put on the county's website. That will cut off any kind of innuendos or rumors which have a tendency to run rampant around these things. Somebody has said PIRs could be a precursor to litigation. I really don't care about that. A lot of people are scared of litigation. Litigation is just a sport. For most people, it's a very, very expensive sport. Kind of like polo. But if you're an attorney, and your wife's an attorney, and your brother's an attorney, a couple of nieces who adore you are attorneys, and your best friend is an attorney, well, litigation is more like polo, more like badminton than polo. So if somebody wants to sue me, I don't care about that, I really don't. But it's gonna be a very expensive proposition. Because plaintiffs are going to give depositions. Everyone associated with the plaintiffs, and anyone they have said hello to in the last 3 years, is gonna get a subpoena. And the court's gonna order them to sit down, give a deposition under oath, under penalties of perjury. It's gonna last for hours, and it isn't gonna be pleasant. I'd suggest budgeting about $40,000 a month for at least 6 months. So if you want to sue me, saddle up your polo ponies, strap on your helmet, and whip out your checkbook. I'm going to Walmart or Amazon, and I'm going to order a can of shuttlecocks. But what I really came to talk about was item 18. I'm in favor of the county commissioners meeting with the county attorney and outside counsel on that litigation. I think it's important and I support it. Thank you, gentlemen, for your efforts and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Love, John Love.
Good morning, Judge Jones and Commissioners. My name is John Love. I'm a resident of Gillespie County. When the Marshall Springs Solar BEST project became known to our neighborhood on Country Creek Lane, there was an immediate response to find a way to stop it. Fight FPG Solar was formed, and that group decided to seek help from you, our county government. We were aware that another group in the county was opposed to a smaller, but no less undesirable project, as they had established a contentious relationship with the county. We chose to explore if Judge Jones and our commissioners would work with us in our fight. You all, in fact, have. Your cooperation has been very much appreciated by the folks in Fight FPG Solar, and the recent court victory not to dismiss the county suit against Ampure is a clear example of your interest in efforts to stop this project. We celebrate the victory and very much appreciate the county and all of your initiatives and work on this important county matter. I have been asked by Gillespie County citizens why Fight FPG Solar does not unite with the other group in the county fighting the BEST project. The answer is quite simple. Although we are certainly opposed to that unconscionable project located near a school, we decided to seek the help and work with our county. Furthermore, we knew that one of the group's leaders had announced an intention to run for county office, possibly tainting that group's efforts with politics. We do not want an election to interfere with the issue. Also, the Marshall Springs project is considerably more complex, being the largest industrial complex ever contemplated for Gillespie County, with 1,100 acres of development, substantial drainage and flood implications, 800 acres of solar panels, along with a 20-acre BEST component. The projects are different, and we continue to believe that working with the county to stop the developer as being the best approach. I learned last week that we all have been served with yet another public information. You all have been served with yet another public information request from the other group. This one, however, is different. It named me, along with others in Fight FPG Solar Group, specifically. Every email document that had our name on it in the county files must be disclosed. I could not be happier with this request. I am confident that this request will clearly show in detail the numerous sincere efforts made by Judge Jones, commissioners, and Fight FPG Solar to stop the Marshall Springs project. And it will clear away any innuendos and accusations of misdeed. I trust that those making the request will make public for all to see the sincere, honest efforts focused on one thing: to stop the project. Again, I and all those involved with supporting Fight FPG Solar offer to you, Judge Jones, and commissioners, our deepest appreciation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I already gave it to you. I already gave you that sheet.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Angela Enright.
Good morning, Judge Jones, County Commissioners.
Good morning.
My name is Angela Enright. I'm here today as a resident of Gillespie County and the Boot Ranch community. I and many of my neighbors want to publicly thank you for the ongoing efforts you put forward fighting the ill-conceived and dangerously located Solar Best project you know is Marshall Springs. I fully support the efforts to fight FPG Solar. We're particularly appreciative that you've chosen to continue affiliation with the 391 Commission, their strength in numbers, and it seems our county is ahead of the curve when it comes to actions taken to stop Solar Best projects versus our 391 sister counties. From our first discussions in November, each of you has been nothing but professional, informative, supportive, true to your words, thoughtful, and patient, as I and my neighbors have educated ourselves alongside of you with the issues around this project that threaten the national legacy that we hope to leave future generations of Hill Country residents. I know this has not been easy for any of you. It has depleted valuable time and staff resources that you normally would put toward the county's usual business. Instead, you're faced with fighting the very health and safety of the county due to a selfish and ill-conceived lease agreement by one absent landowner and a foreign business entity that has the ability to negatively impact all of our personal safety, our beautiful environment, our valuable tourism and viticultural industries forever. I've worked in Texas luxury hospitality and tourism for 22 years. This is a topic that's near and dear to my heart and professional expertise. I and my neighbors have spent hundreds of hours in direct meetings with our well-meaning governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, secretary of state, and each of our state and federal representatives, including countless senior legislative aides, and yet no one has done more than all of you to help us. And I mean that sincerely. If allowed to proceed, it would be a blight, a black eye, a literal 1,100 acre reflective hellhole should it be allowed to be built within our fragile hill country landscape. As if we didn't have enough natural disasters to contend with. We don't need a man-made one. As I've stated many times, I'm not against renewables. I'm against the poor placement of them to the detriment of nearby state parks, wildlife, residential property owners, and businesses. This is the very definition of a public nuisance. And Amber may build it, but that company will not be around long enough to witness its harm to our community. But our citizens will. In closing, I and my neighbors will continue to get the word out to our nearly 30,000 county citizens. I look forward to another strong turnout at the next court hearing in September, and so we fight on. I do have one question. Can you, in layman's terms, explain what the next hearing is intended to accomplish?
Yeah, go ahead, Judge.
Who's the lawyer in the group?
The next hearing is for the county has requested an injunction, temporary injunction be in place. And so that is the hearing for the court to make a determination as to whether this project will be essentially enjoined or stopped from continuing during dependency of this lawsuit. And so
So would it be helpful to have a strong turnout for that hearing from the citizens?
well, I think that obviously the judge on the bench that's hearing the case will understand and see that there's significant public interest and support for the activity. I think if there's public there. And so I think that is the probably best that's the message that it sends to the court, is if there's because I've been to plenty of hearings where there's literally nobody in the courtroom except for the attorneys. And so this gives an indication that there would be public interest and support for the hearing. So
Great, then we will do our best to have a strong turnout. Again, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Esther Schneider, Ms. Schneider.
Just a quick question. You had the Harper project on the agenda before and it was removed. Can you state why? Has there been contact with Peregrine?
I don't know what you're about the agenda. I never put anything on the agenda you're talking about for this meeting today?
Yes.
I never had anything on there for that specifically.
Okay, we seem to recall that it was on the agenda and it was removed.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Baker, David Baker.
Morning, Judge Jones, Commissioners.
Morning.
I saw that the lawsuit was on the agenda. I just wanted to step up. It's almost a year ago. Came here to the court and asked for your assistance in doing anything we could to stop this Marshall Springs Solar Invest project. So I really just wanted to come and express my appreciation for the lawsuit that's being pursued. It's great to have a small victory with the dismissal of the motion to dismiss. And we have a long and arduous journey, I think, with some more hearings, but appreciate your perseverance and taking this on, and it's very much appreciated by, I think, the entire community from my conversations with them. So, yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone that signed up to speak that I did not call? I believe that's everyone. All right, thank you for your comments. As I mentioned, at 10:30 is when we're planning to break for that executive session discussion. So we will continue with the other items on the agenda, and then if we're not done by 10:30, we will break at 10:30 for the executive session. I don't know that we're planning to take any action out of that executive session. Public is welcome to wait through that. We will come back into the open meeting after the executive session to close the meeting and to take any action if needed. Anything else on that item before we move on, Commissioners?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 19 is consider approval of an interlocal agreement between the county and the city of Fredericksburg for the disposition of the disaster debris related to the July 16th flooding event. This is for debris that's located in the public right-of-way. We have had discussions with the city concerning disposal of that material at the landfill. I drafted an interlocal agreement, sent it to the city. I believe that there's one change they wanted to make, and so I don't know, Ashley, is this time sensitive or can this wait for 2 weeks?
It can wait, but we do need to have it in place before, debris, just to make sure everything's signed in and approved before we would take the documentation from people, so.
Okay. Commissioners, is that going to present any issues if we wait for the next regular meeting to approve? I think the city can consider it at their next available meeting as well. There were some, initially they thought that it would not need to go to council, but now they've been advised that it does need to go to city council for approval, so we'll need to hit one of their meetings. Generally, the terms of the agreement are that the city will agree to accept that vegetative and that disaster-related debris at the landfill. That will be the final disposition spot for them to handle in accordance with their normal landfill operations. The county will pay the tipping fees as is set by ordinance for those amounts that are delivered there. And then the city will have the option to dispose of that material how they see fit. If they want to grind the vegetative debris and turn it into mulch or whatever, that's at their discretion, conforming with their normal landfill operations. So, but we want to have an agreement in place for possible reimbursement if and when we get to that point. So any other questions or discussion on that? Anything from Ashley or? Okay.
How are things coming, Ashley? I mean, are we moving forward on it, or is there a brief update?
Yeah. I'll give a brief update. So basically, we're still waiting for the major disaster declaration from the White House. We're working with TDM to see if we can get any updates. We haven't heard anything. The good news is it's not denied, so it's still on the desk. But the unfortunate thing is obviously it's been a month. So we continue to treat it like it's an MPD. So we're collecting all the FEMA documentation so that we can complete reimbursement. And again, I think our focus is making sure that we track and we're doing road matching and stuff like that. I know on the debris side, we just don't have a lot of debris that's interfering with any of that operation yet. And so that's why this has been a little delayed, I'd say. Outside of that, I mean, that's kind of all we have. I know this agreement is a little, I don't want to say silly, but kind of like an obvious agreement. But it's really important for FEMA that we said, yes, the county agreed with the city, we have it on paper, and yes, the county is paying tipping fees. Because if we can put that on paper and then prove that we paid it, FEMA will actually reimburse that back to the county, and we will get that money back. But other than that, I mean, we continue to work with residents that have private road damage, waiting for Team Rubicon to let us know the status on their support, if they can do anything about that. We're continuing to wait for SBA loans to see if that could be an option from DC, but that's going to depend on the MPD being approved, and it's also going to depend on whether or not Kerr County receives the SBA. And then other than that, that's pretty much it. Just continue to support the precincts with documentation at this time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I have a question. Is Tatum putting any odds on this federal government approval?
No, there's no way to really project it. The only thing I can say is we 100% as Gillespie County have met our threshold. We have done all of this stuff on our side, and as a county, we sit pretty. Unfortunately, once it gets DC, it's kind of on that process at the FEMA level, and honestly at the presidential level for them to decide, hey, you know, we think that this reaches MPD and they sign it. But according to TDM's recovery folks, I mean, we're over the state threshold, so they're not understanding why there wouldn't be a reason why we wouldn't receive an MPD.
So the federal government approval is a blanket approval for all the counties that are involved? Is it, or is it by county?
They can remove certain counties, yes. But typically throughout the process, we work closely with the state to prove that we meet a threshold. Then Abbott or the governor will submit it on behalf of those counties that met it. And then FEMA wants to double check and make sure that all the counties met it, and then they will approve it for the counties. But I think just a couple weeks ago on the West Virginia one, they just approved, they actually removed a couple counties. So they do have the power to say, no on these counties. So we'll have to keep an eye on it.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
I just want to add about the interlocal for the debris. It's also important to indicate that that is going to be the way we dispose, and that's going to be the final disposition spot for that debris, or else we'd have to indicate, show where it's being moved and track to its endpoint. So So I will coordinate with city and we'll probably bring this, I expect to have this back on the next agenda for consideration.
No action.
So no action on item number 19 today, only discussion. Item number 20 is also related to the July 16th flooding event. This is consider approval and ratification of agreements and task orders for emergency engineering services that were provided immediately after the event to do the damage assessments of public infrastructure. I believe this was like on the Monday or Tuesday after the event.
Tuesday.
We had a few additional engineering, either local engineers or a firm that we have contract with that sent engineers to assist in visiting all of the affected public infrastructure and doing initial damage assessments on that. The county engineer did have obtained agreements with these engineers or the firm, but county needs to ratify and approve those contracts since we're the only entity that can contract on behalf of the county. And so the contracts are with, one was with Emma Gold at Hewitt Engineering, one was with Doucette and Associates, which is one of our on-call outside engineers. One was with Mark Cornett with Cornett Engineering. One was with Alan Keller. I believe that's all of the contracts. They're all in the public packet, I believe.
One of them you mentioned isn't in there.
Which one?
I don't see you.
It's the very first.
That's the
one, I
very
think.
first one. It's Emma Gold.
Oh, okay. I saw him. I didn't realize it was you. Okay.
Unless anything you need to add on this, or Commissioner Yancey, or Ashley.
Not much to add, just kind of mirroring what Ashley said earlier, having the agreements and the task orders on file also show FEMA that's what the services were used for. So if and when there's a federal declaration, that would be part of the reimbursement that we get. So again, this helps to show that it is specifically related to the flood damage and assessment of the infrastructure and not some other on-call service that we do.
Can you just talk about a little bit about what y'all did with the engineers?
Yes, so we had myself and four engineers. That you mentioned, we went out on the Tuesday after the flood event, and I don't have my paper in front of me, but I believe we went out to 47 different sites and inspections all throughout precinct, or countywide really. I think we had at least one project in each precinct. So out of those projects, almost all of them had some amount of damage. There were a few that were not affected, that we identified. I think after the field visits, it was at $6 million of damage. After we sat down and put the estimates together, and it's somewhere around $4 million of damage to our public infrastructure. So I think it's been a very, the silver lining of it is that it's been good to have just some help to address local concerns statewide. So now we have this list of projects that we can use as guidance in the next, I think it'll take years to get to each one of them. It's 47 projects and roughly $4 million. But it did help identify areas that we can improve in the future. So those assessments were used to submit the KeyStat reports to CDEM, which submitted them to FEMA to help us meet that threshold for qualifying for that federal declaration.
All right, thank you. Anything else, commissioners?
I was in on those meetings and stuff, and I know Tita was very impressed with our response to it and how quickly we had all that information. He said that it was a very smooth operation and it was thrown together very quickly. I know I don't have any experience in the FEMA and flood disaster up until that point. It was I could put that together, and I say it went very smooth, and they were very pleased with the response and the timeliness and all the information we were able to gather in a day's time, so.
We want to thank the local engineers that agreed to essentially drop everything and come help with that assessment also.
That was very nice of them.
I just want to add that these were all, these contracts were all essentially agreed to prior to the work being done back in July, and were submitted or signed by the engineer prior to them performing the work. So we're not contracting after the fact. It was, the contracts were in place. We're just having to execute on the county side formally now. So, so the action today is to approve and ratify those agreements that were entered into back on July 20th or 21 related to the engineering assessments done immediately after the July 16th flooding event. I guess let me run through the amounts just so everyone's clear. The first agreement was with Hewitt Engineering, which the work was signed and performed by Emmett Gold. The amount there was not to exceed $3,200. The agreement with, or the task order with Doucette and Associates was not to exceed $5,000. The agreement with Cornet Engineering was up to 16 hours at $200 per hour. And then the budget or the agreement with Alan Keller was $4,000 to $6,000, which was the budgeted amount, but it was going to be billed to actual costs. And so, Melissa, do you have the amounts that were actually billed for these contracts?
So Alan Keller was $3,250. Burnett Engineering was $2,800. Hewitt Engineering, which is in Gold Services, was $3,000. And then Doucette has not submitted an invoice yet, but I think they'll be right at the $5,000. And that was a little bit more because they were on some bigger projects and they were out as it's in, so we knew some costs to go for that.
Okay. All right, any other questions or discussion?
So we're essentially approving the ratifications of the agreement, not payment of.
Right, yeah, I think some of them are already been submitted in code for payment. Doucette has not submitted an invoice yet, but we're approving the contracts. The amounts are small, so they'll just be paid as a routine.
I move we approve and ratify the agreements and task orders for emergency engineering services provided, disaster damage assessment of public infrastructure immediately following the July 16th, 2026 flooding event.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Melissa. Item number 21, consider approval of revised pay rates for election judges, election clerks, and temporary election workers. I'll just preface this by saying that we've had a somewhat complicated pay rate in place. So we're trying to simplify that, I think, is the point of the request for today. So go ahead, Jim. Good morning.
You stole all my thunder.
Oh, sorry.
I wanted to explain why we're doing this. Good morning, I'm Jim Wright. The recommended rates that you have in front of you, the judge, $13 an hour. The clerks and alternates, 12. There's been in place a kind of a stair-step thing that depending on how many times you've worked, you've made a certain amount and so forth. This just cleans all that up. The other pay opportunities, I guess, can't come up with a better word. The judge on election day is paid an additional $25 because they are responsible for picking up chain of custody equipment and ballots and being responsible for those until returned. And there's other equipment. And then there is an opportunity, and we're going to work very hard on making sure this is covered. The Spanish-speaking clerk or judge can have a 5% added on to theirs. We haven't been as diligent in the past in making sure we have a single person designated. We always have somebody, everybody that can speak Spanish. But anyway, that's the revised pay rates that I'm seeking approval.
Okay, can you state what they are specifically?
Well, I apologize, it's not in my file, but it should be $13 for the presiding judge and 12 for clerks and alternates.
I just was asking what the updated guidance was on the pay rates. Is that 13 and not updated guidance for pay rates?
So 13 for the presiding judge, $12 for all clerks and the alternate judge?
And that's not based on experience. The alternate judge is basically a clerk who has responsibility if the judge is unavailable.
And then the $25 fee to the election judge?
Election judge.
Okay. All right. Commissioners, any questions?
I mean, I assume that's supported by the election group, the 5 of y'all?
We don't have any input on that issue.
Okay.
But the issue before was that one of the issues was that we had an experienced rate. And so some people were determined to have experience, which would increase their rate slightly. And there was, then we're getting to this issue of who meets that qualification. And so this simplifies the number of levels of pay.
Okay. Well, I move we approve the pay rates for the election judges, which will be $13 an hour, and the election clerks and temporary election workers at $12 an hour, including the judges at $25 per day of election for included challenges.
Second?
Second.
Yeah, all right. You got the second? You can take it.
You can take it.
All right, I'll take it. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 22, consider appointments of election judges, election clerks, members of the early voting ballot board, and members of the signature verification committee and alternates. Mr. Riley? Go ahead.
There should be in your packet a list of judges and alternates. A couple of comments. The election board has met on this and discussed any questions and concerns. We have, in this county, we designate our judges for a 1-year period. Larger counties will do a 2-year period. We've chosen to do it that way. In the case this time of judges, most of these have been appointed previously, but we have for the first time 5 new people who will be appointed by this group for the first time. Precincts 3, 7, 8, 10, and 12 all have new appointees. A couple of them have actually served, but they were substituting in. So what you have is a list of the 13 election judges submitted by the Republican Party, the 13 alternate judges submitted by the Democrat Party, deputy early voting clerk, basically it's a fancy name for the early voting judge. That was nominated by the Republican Party, the alternate. Elizabeth Bispo is a Democrat. The early voting ballot board consists of a Democrat, Debbie Keener, an alternate Judge Lane Tate from the Democrats, Central County, same setup. The judge is Bill Briggs, a Republican, and the alternate is Sarah Faulkner. All of those folks are veteran folks to their roles. We seek approval.
So,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I have a question. You were talking about appointment for 2 years? Or did I misunderstand that?
That's an by code, you either appoint them for 2 years or one. We chose over the years to do one.
Okay, and that's what you're asking for?
That's what I'm asking for now.
Okay.
We have, in this next cycle, we have the November election and possible city election, unless we have special elections or a bond or something like that that comes up.
Mhm. So these judges would only apply to our general election, is that correct?
Unless we contract out with the city, as we've done in the past, or the school board, in which case we go to these people first
Okay.
for availability.
I do see a correction on precinct 6. Scott Netherland's name is misspelled on there. I don't know if there's.
I apologize.
Nothing,
The
I'd rather be.
final one has the C in there.
Okay,
You're right.
no problem.
Uh,
Make sure we get the right name and the right
We spell
stuff.
his name like we do under deputy or everyone.
Yeah, no problem. So, better to fix it now than later was my thought.
At least I got Dave Schaefer, his alternate spelled right this time.
Well, I move we approve the appointments of election judges, election clerks, members of early voting ballot board, and members of the signature verification committee and alternates as presented for 1 year.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Looking at this, Judge Jones, Dave Schaefer is a relative through marriage. Do I need to recuse myself on this, or is that?
I don't know how closely he's related to you, but if there's any question, you can recuse yourself from the item out of an abundance of caution.
Well, I will recuse myself.
All right, any other discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. One member, Commissioner Yansky, recused himself from the item.
There are some forms that would need to be signed. I believe the one I have there, I can combine into one document. I'm going to try to do that and bring it back over for signature.
All right, thank you, Jim. All right, we're going to move to item number 23. Consider approval of the purchase of a portable lighted warning signs and the necessary line item transfer needed for that purchase for precinct 3.
With all the flood damage and stuff, and in light of next year's budget, we removed these from countywide for next year. Precinct 3 has some funds, passed out a sheet with information on it. So I propose, I move that we approve the purchase of portable lighted warning signs in the amount of $52,650 from Central Texas Equipment. They are on a buy-board contract, and the auditor's office has already worked up the line item transfers in the consent agenda. So I'll leave that further.
Okay.
With motion.
I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Did you get the motion, Lindsay?
What's the amount again?
52,650. 52,000.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to approve the purchase at $52,650. The vendors on buy board. And the line item transfer is in the consent agenda packet, so we don't need to take action specifically for that. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you to the auditor's office for assisting with that and getting that taken care of on short notice. Appreciate y'all.
That'd be a big benefit, and I know you're gonna need them in several spots, so.
Yeah, and they're available for countywide, and that's not an issue in my opinion, so very useful. Yes.
It's 10:31. Let's do item number 24 briefly. I mean, I think we can get through that very quickly, and then we'll adjourn we'll recess for the executive session. Item number 24 is consider setting the time and date for the public hearings on the fiscal year 26-27 proposed budget and the proposed 2026 tax rate, and approve publication of the required notices related to those meetings. I'm proposing September 8th at 5:30 p.m. for the public hearing date and time for both of those items. We'll post it for this room. I don't know if the district courtroom will be available. In the past, this has accommodated everyone, but if it's too many people, then we will try to find an alternate upstairs. So I'll visit with Judge and Evans to see if we can accommodate that. But the initial plan will be to meet in this room at 5:30 on that date. And then I will need to publish notices of that in the newspaper over the next few weeks for both the tax rate and the proposed budget.
I move we set the time and date for the public hearing on the fiscal year 26-27 proposed budget and proposed tax rate for September 8th at 5:30 p.m. in the county courtroom.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
I can make it.
Can you? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, we're going to go back to item number 18, which is consultation with county attorney and outside counsel regarding pending litigation for the Marshall Springs case pending in the 216th District Court. Court is going to recess the open meeting and reconvene in executive session pursuant to 551.071. It's 10:33 a.m. on August 25th. Thank you.
Are we going to the law library?
Yes.
Can we have 2 minutes?
Sure.